People scoring 120 or 130 above in their IQ scores are considered to be intellectually gifted. Now let us understand what are the characteristics of giftedness. Before going to the characteristics of giftedness, let us understand what we mean by intellectual giftedness. Intellectual giftedness is defined as exceptional general ability shown in superior performance in a wide variety of areas. So, a person who is intellectually gifted has a general capacity which is exceptional, which is above average, and which shows in superior performance in a wide variety of areas. A gifted child, an intellectually gifted child, is a child who possesses exceptional general ability that shows in superior performance in a wide variety of areas. So, a person or a child who is intellectually gifted is able to perform exceptionally well in a wide variety of areas simply because the child is inherently gifted with a higher intellectual level which shows itself which expresses itself in almost all the activities which the child or the person undertakes. Now let us understand the characteristics associated with gifted children. 1. The gifted child is essentially an exceptional child. He or she shows early signs of intellectual superiority. During early childhood or infancy, the gifted child shows larger attention span, good recognition memory, preference for novelty, sensitivity to environmental changes, and early appearance of language skills. So, children who are gifted, who are exceptionally gifted in intellect, show early signs of giftedness in terms of a longer attention span, a better recognition memory, a preference for novelty, sensitivity to environmental changes, and appearance of language skills early on in their lives as compared to children of normal intelligence or average intelligence. Number 2, in comparison to children of his own group, he is superior in some ability or group of abilities such as logical thinking, questioning, problem solving behavior, and processing, high speed processing information. The child who is gifted shows a superior ability in terms of logical thinking, questioning, problem solving, and processing of information, which are very much required for learning, especially at school. Number 3, the gifted child invariably exhibits a high level of intrinsic motivation and self esteem. So, the child who is intellectually gifted very often also has a very high level of self esteem and a high intrinsic motivation, which means that the child who is gifted has an intrinsic desire to excel. They are intrinsically motivated. They do not need rewards, external rewards, to perform or excel in their performance. Number 4, it would be incorrect to relate giftedness with only academic performance. So, if we think that highly gifted children or intellectually gifted people excel only in the area of school learning or academic learning, we would be wrong to think so. Giftedness may express itself in other areas such as music, dance, drama, painting, or mechanical work, or social leadership, human relationships, creative scientific experimentation, and physical activities like games, sports, gymnastics, etc. So, giftedness is not only expressed in terms of academic performance, a gifted individual can also excel and manifest his or her giftedness in areas other than academics. Number 5, a gifted child need not necessarily possess a very high intelligence quotient. Oftentimes, when we give intelligence tests to people, sometimes they are not motivated to perform well in the test. Sometimes the tests are not culture fair. The tests cannot do justice. The test is not able to assess the intellectual ability of the person. So, there is all probability that a gifted child may not do well or may not express the giftedness, intellectual giftedness, in terms of his or her IQ score. Apart from intelligence quotient or high intelligence quotient, giftedness also manifests itself in original and creative thinking. People who are gifted exhibit a high level of original and creative thinking. They are independent and non-conformist, and they often show preference for solitary activities. So, people who are high on giftedness may not necessarily excel exceptionally on intelligence tests. They may show a high level of original and creative thinking. They are nonconformist and independent. They prefer activities where they are on their own. Number six, when provided special attention and focused educational programs that can sharpen their productive thinking, planning, decision making, and communication, the gifted child can achieve his or her full potential. This means that a gifted child needs an equally stimulating environment to express his or her giftedness. For a gifted child to achieve the full potential of his intellectual ability, there has to be an environment which is stimulating enough, which is facilitative enough. Number seven, gifted children perform difficult mental tasks. He or she possesses superior generalization and discrimination ability. So, a gifted child shows a high capacity for stimulus generalization, the ability to find commonalities between different kinds of information or stimuli, and a high discrimination ability, which means that a gifted child is able to discriminate better between different kinds of information or stimuli. So, because of the intellectual giftedness, the gifted child is able to form generalizations and discriminate between different kinds of information very spontaneously and at a higher level. Number 8, a gifted child is alert, keenly observant, and responds quickly. These are some of the characteristics of giftedness, intellectual giftedness, which you need to write down for your examination. We'll meet again with the next lesson on another topic.